All right, welcome. This is Dr. Evil Genius for the Talking Shit Podcast, aka TSP. I have a very interesting topic, or a topic that I think is pretty interesting. And it was inspired by an exercise scientist named Jeff Nippard. Jeff Nippard is one of the most respected and successful exercise scientist personality on YouTube. He has over 5 million subscribers on his channel. And what he likes to do is to find out what are the most effective approaches to fitness. And he likes to find these effective approaches by compiling data sets and then studying them to provide a meta-analysis that gives us the closest to the truth interpretation of all of these different studies that have been done probably over the last 40 or 50 years concerning exercise science and figuring out the best methods to get gains. Now, the video he put out today was very, very interesting to me. He put out a video today entitled, let me actually look. Do more plates equal more dates? Now, that title is a play on another YouTube channel that belongs to this guy named Derek. And the name of the YouTube channel is More Plates, More Dates. And so he wanted to know, is that actually true? Is it actually true that if you can lift more weight, you get more girls? Now, for most of us guys that are really enthusiastic about our training, the majority of us guys are looking to catch the eyes of women. And if you go back a few years, maybe 2018, 2019, there was this whole trend where women were talking about, we want dad bods. And some of us guys called BS on that. The women were saying we like guys who are kind of flabby, and we don't really like the guys who are fit, not muscular. And so you hear what the women are saying, and if you're only listening to what is being said, you say, wow, maybe I should go eat several more cheeseburgers. Maybe I shouldn't work as hard in the gym. In fact, you know what? I won't go to the gym at all. I'm going to sit on the couch like Homer Simpson, and I'm going to find my Marge. That's if you're following what is being told to you out of their mouths. Now, in this video, he set out to find out, will men be more successful with women if they train hard or not? So he set about compiling data in two different ways. One, he went for the empirical data. He asked the men directly, how many partners have you had lifetime? And then he kind of organize them according to what their bench press 1RM is. 1RM standing for 1 rep maximum, which is the heaviest amount that you can lift one time. And I believe the scale went from as low as 135 and as high as 405. And 405 is 4 plates. So most guys will probably be at or just shy of 225 pounds, which is 2 plates. So if you're able to add 3 plates, which is 315 pounds, and then put 4 plates on, which is 405 pounds, does that generally correlate to more access to women or less? And they found that the guys who can bench press the most had the most sexual access. Wow, big surprise, right? But then he also looked at how the bench press 1RM, kind of the scale of how many of these guys were in relationships and how many guys were single. And the guys at the bottom of the graph, when it came to lifting strength, bench press specific, the guys at the bottom of the scale reported being single twice as much as the guys who were at the top of the scale. We're talking about the 275s, the 315s, the 365s, the 405s. Those guys at the top of the scale tended to be in relationships at a rate roughly 2-to-1 than the guys who were at the bottom of the scale. But the other way that Jeff compiled his information was to ask the women their opinions. He surveyed the women, and the women said, when forced to choose whether they wanted a guy who could bench press 315 or not, some of the women told the truth and say they would rather be with a guy or go on a date with a guy who could bench 315 than a guy who wouldn't. Some of the women refused to actually answer the question. He said, I don't care, which is not an answer to the question. More on that in a bit. So he cited a large study that had over 170,000 participants in trying to find out how women choose men for relationships. And when accounting for all of the physical masculine traits, the women claimed that the physical masculine traits only made up 5% of their decision. Roughly 5%, definitely below 10% of their mating choices. They said that they preferred guys who were kind and intelligent. Now, if you're a guy living in modern society today, does that sound right to you? Does it sound like all of the nice, caring guys that are helpful and intelligent? Are those the guys that are just all the girls are chasing? Come on. Right? So when you look at the data from the guys that reported having access, we're talking about they've been chosen for the thing that matters most to men, which is sexual access. The guys at the top of the muscle and the strength scales significantly had more access than the men who were at the bottom of the scale. And the guys at the guys that had the lowest body fat reported having the most happy. They reported having the most happiness with their love life, and the guys with the highest body fat percentages reported having lower satisfaction rates. It also turns out that women reported the same thing. What does that tell you? In public, a woman will tell you all the things that make her sound virtuous and nice. She will tell you that she doesn't care about height or money or status, but she only cares about being loved. And she cares about how intelligent he is. And guys, we know where those guys end up. They end up in the friend zone if they don't have self-respect. But the vast majority of guys, whether they have self-respect or not, are getting rejected at a greater than 98% rate. So we're talking about what they're telling you they're into versus what their actual decisions are. So I want to make it very clear to you guys who watch this video. You are going to hear from women that you try to date what is important to them. In fact, if you're one of these guys without self-respect who occupy friend zones and do a lot of emotional labor without reciprocation, you've probably heard the phrase, I really wish that I could date a guy just like you. While you're sitting there, single, available, and you've already professed your attraction to her. See, she might like to have those things, but she doesn't want it from you. See, the thing is, the women will say that they don't care about the guys who are muscular. They don't care about the guys who are strong. They don't care about it's their actual choices should be what you should be paying attention to. You meet a woman and she keeps saying how she values intelligence and kindness and all of that stuff, but then she talks about all the narcissists that she's dated and she can't seem to find a good man. she's lying directly to your face, and you probably should walk away. You can't have a string of super physically attractive men who are tall and muscular and then gonna tell me, oh, no, that's not what I prefer. I prefer kindness, when you've got a friend zone with 11 men in it that actually give a fuck about you. So let's stop the BS. Guys, don't fall for the sweet, flowery words. You need to pay attention to the actual choices that women make. And since the actual choices that women make more heavily skew towards guys who are putting the effort in the gym, putting the effort in their lives, guys who are trying to make themselves more financially viable, those are the guys who have the best chances of winning in the dating arena. Please pay attention to the choices that women make, not to the proclamations they make. The original video, the link to that video, to Jeff Niffer's video, will be in the description for you guys who are interested in being more efficient and more effective in your training. I highly recommend checking out his channel and all of his other videos. Also, stay tuned to TSP. I'm covering fitness concepts in live streams, and on my other personal channel, that link is in the description as well, the Dr. Evil Genius channel. I cover fitness concepts there 3 times a week live. So check me out over there. Check out the other videos we have on the channel. Check out the Filthy Casual MMA watch party that we hold every time the UFC has an event, usually on most Saturdays. I co-host that with Mrs. Evil. And yeah, I'm out. Enjoy your day.